Good morning, my friends. This is a special edition. This is Wednesday morning. We typically don't engage you in conversations, but this conversation was so crucial that I decided that I wanted to give it an edition all to its own. And my guest this morning is Pattie Kobe. We can call it 5 steps because she's not only innovated the next right answer, but she's now got it down to a system. 5 steps to, we'll call it high speed guest retention or rapid recovery when people leave. A lot of people are leaving now for self-employed communities like the Sweet Communities, aka winning strategies for competing with Sweets. Pattie and I go back many moons, and so I've known her for many years. So she's the real deal. Last year she had a great year. From 20 to 21, grew 20%, which put her in or around 2.6 million. Not bad. She's when you really look at her new referral at 15%, that's well into double digit, because if you Google top salon spas in Crown Point, she understands SEO, she understands Google, so she's right there as well. Rebooking plus 80%, RTS is plus 20, average service ticket is plus 150. So you can see that she's in the game. She also has, I'll get her talking about it a little bit, but she's now beginning to transcend the traditional level chart where she needs to put a couple of more levels in there because her people are blowing the charts. And the way she's doing it is interesting. I'll see if I can spend a couple minutes getting her to chat about that before we get into the 5 steps. So enough about this. I'm going to go in my green room, and I'm going to go and get her, and then I'll get her to share some of her secret sauce. Let me just go full screen so we can see that she's in the game. And I'm going to unmute Pattie. And why don't you make her feel nice and welcome? Good morning, Pattie.
Good morning. Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for doing this. You and I had a conversation on the phone about a week or so ago, and you were just chatting with me about what you're doing to recover quickly and to retain when people leave. And I said, I got to bring this to my community. So we'll get to that in a second, but I just want you to catch us up. You're every time I chat with you, you're telling me that you're doing something that hasn't been done before. And in addition to the 5 steps, it's what you got cooking with your level charts. And a couple of days ago, you said, Michael, you got to fix your damn calc because we're using it to set goals. So I had to debug the calc. So give us a couple minutes of that, and then we'll get started on the 5 steps.
Yeah. So my story, it's long. I essentially have gone, for those of you who've never met me, from $100 in a savings account to a place where I have shareholders. So that's really exciting for us. And in our monthly personal development meetings, we have been setting all of our goals for 2022. And we use the calculator every year to assist us with that. And my level 5s and 6 and 7s are all taking the jump this year. They've all committed to the promotion. And so we're reinventing the chart a little bit. And what we were kind of conversing about was we don't necessarily have 8 levels because it's very confusing to our front desk team. It's confusing to the consumer. So when we're now creating levels 8 and 9, we will drop off level 1 and 2. So it's really how we do our cost of living raise. So as our higher levels continue to get promoted, no one really lives at level 1 in our company. They jump out of it within 3 to 4 months. So that level kind of stays empty of people. So when we have new hires come in, it's really easy to transition them to the next price that we create because we don't have people sitting around at level 1 for very long. So we still only keep 5 levels, but as we're creating level 7 and 8, now our level 1 and 2 will drop off. So
wow, I've never I've done 300 interviews, and that's another first, Patty, that I've never, that as you evolve, like you're about to add two new levels on the top end of the chart, but your people are blowing through level 1 and 2 so quickly that it no longer makes sense. And rather than having all of the levels, you just continue to evolve. It's almost like you lean in and level up with your pricing range.
Yeah, it's our cost of living raise and I don't know how to mentor and coach if I'm not giving them a place to go to. So we were stuck at level 4 for many years because we didn't really know we could have a level 5. It just never occurred to us. So um, once we got back in with our coaching, Michael Nicholas created that and set that up for us. And so now we've realized, okay, this can be a game plan. This is good gameplay. And every time we create a level, we just drop off the bottom.
Now, you mentioned Michael Nicholas. Was he involved in helping you to kind of think through that? Because that is an unprecedented idea. I don't
Yeah.
know of another salon that has done that yet.
Yeah, we spent about 6 months recreating what that would look like and getting our price level worksheets straight and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of math. It's a lot of web design. It's a lot of printed tickets. So you can't just say, oh, by the way, we're going to create 3 new levels and give people new goals. I mean, it was really a partnership between everyone in our company and Michael to create that so we could move forward and have it be seamless for the gals that are answering the phone and the new hires that haven't been with me for 15 years. So it takes a minute.
Oh my God. And then we were texting a couple of days ago, this being January, you were setting the yearly goal on the front end of Jan with each one of your people using the Dream Machine calc, which I got goosebumps when I heard that. And what was that like for you and your people?
Yeah, so usually we do it in December, but we were delayed in December just because we couldn't have our team meeting. So it happened in January. We used the magic calculator, and it really, when you look at, okay, how do I get to $100,000 W-2? It's frightening, and it's, oh my gosh, that math is big. Those numbers are huge, but that calculator, the algorithm breaks it down into like a daily goal. And once they see that the daily goal is 450, 500, 600, depending on how many days they work in their schedule, it becomes way more realistic. And so now we're just looking at, okay, how do you do the add-ons? What does the add-on menu need to look like? How do we help you? How do we help reinvent what you're doing to make it so you can get the add-on, so you can get to your daily average service ticket? So it just becomes very strategic. And so we sit down and we do that. And then we also love the calculator that helps them with their bills. They put in their budget and they put in what they owe, and they work on working it down their debt. So it's about building wealth and reducing your debt.
Wow. Well, we could talk like forever about that in variations on that. And at another time we will. I really want to pivot to this. I was very, very intrigued with what you've been incubating, and now it's beyond incubating. It's developed where it's now we can have a very tangible conversation, and that is not if, but when people leave, and they leave for self-employed sweet community. You've now got something, I think both of you and I just said, let's just call it 5 steps to what you do to retain more and then recover quicker for guests, so that the brand, your brand really now is stronger than any one individual in the brand. So talk about that.
Yeah. So when I was a young owner, I mean, I've been in this business 32 years now, and we opened State of Mind in 1999. So it's been a few minutes. So when I was a young owner, and I had, we have a freestanding building, $1 million in debt. When you have that big nut to crack, you really lead with emotion, and based on whether the emotion is not good or bad, you're either scared or you're not. And that's just the reality of being a young owner of a company, and when you're leading people. I've gotten to the point now to where, we're somewhat debt free within our business, and We're leading such amazing people that I'm not emotional about. I'm not emotional about the fact that it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. So instead of having it happen, like for us, 2 weeks before Christmas at 9 o'clock at night in an email with no notice, instead of letting it ruin my entire holiday, which is what young me would have done, I would have, fallen apart and cried it out. I just went back to the core value of what it is that we do and the strategies that we have. And I went in the next day and I printed down the day sheets and I started calling the guests. And that for me is step one. It's about shouting out on social media, congratulations, we wish you well, because our team needs to see that and our community needs to see that. Then it's about me stopping what I'm doing in running our company and going to the phones and talking to the guests and saying, hey, you're important to me. Whatever decision you make, whatever you need, we're here. If you want to stay, I'm going to reschedule you. If you decide to leave and you want to come back, call me. I'll get you rescheduled. When I reschedule them with me mostly. And then in that conversation on the phone, I'm doing like a virtual consultation. So I'm saying, I'm willing to honor the price of the service provider that just left. I'm willing to do your hair. What I can do is introduce you to another service provider that I have that is at that level. We can connect the two of you, and then we can get you rescheduled with that stylist. And it becomes non-emotional for me. It's just about, I really want what's best for the guest, and they can feel that. And I think that they respect the fact that I didn't just do what I used to do, which is just tell my receptionist, hey, start calling all these people and canceling. I just didn't know. And when you know more, you do more. When you know better, you do better. So.
Wow. So there's a whole bunch of what you said in a short period of time. I want to unpack a couple of pieces of it because it's really important. First things first is that you now are to a place in your own, whatever you want to call it, leadership development, brand development, that this is a reality that comes with the game. It's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a thing. And we really, when I say we, you and your people want to create a brand that has an experience for every guest that goes beyond any individual in the brand. So I know that underneath all of that, that's a big principle. And when it happens, you get on, and you said the phone. I'm curious as to how many calls are we talking about, that if you had to, guess, or whatever number of calls that you made, what are we talking about?
Well, I mean, full transparency, over the summer through just 2 weeks before Christmas, we lost 5 stylists, and that's huge. I mean, I only had a 13 head count. So one's having a baby, one moved, 2 went to a suite, so it wasn't one thing that triggered it. It was just life got lifey, and it happened. And so, I mean, I called as many, or almost 75% of them. Saturday night, Sunday, I came in, I spent all day Sundays on the phone. For me, it's the easiest way to reach people. And I didn't want to just leave a message and have them call back. I wanted to actually have a conversation. So I sat in the office on Sundays with my lists, and I reached out to as many people as I could. And my general manager is great. She does that as well. And anyone would do it. It's just really important to me that I was the one to do it.
Yeah. You are the leader, and you are the founder, the matriarch, if you will. So then when people take you up on the offer, they come in, you serve them. So you are the service provider, and I believe whatever price they were paying on the person that left, that's you charge them that price so that they can see that you're paired up. They're not paying more because you're doing their hair.
Yeah, that's the first question they have, because they know that as the owner, they know my prices are different. So the first thing they say when I say I want to be the one to do your hair this time, they say, well, what are you going to charge me? So I realized I just, instead of having them ask me, I just put that into my script. And so I just say, I would love to do your hair and I will honor the price of the service provider that we were seeing before. And then the experience is a wow experience. I mean, they're getting a full consultation with facial shape and lifestyle and maintenance and how often they visit. And they're getting an incredible shampoo. I look at your skin complexion. Are you cool or warm? I mean, they're getting an entire experience. So that I think is what makes them reschedule, because they remember, oh yes, that's right.
Right. And then when at the end of that experience, I mean, I would imagine, I'm going to call it blow their socks off experience, if you will, or the brand experience, then you introduce them to a service provider that's at the level of the service provider that was previous with the brand before they left.
Yeah, or somebody their personality matches, whether it's one level below or one level up. I mean, that's not so much of a difference. I just put them with somebody that I think that they're going to be a good fit for the type of hair, whether they like to change a lot, whether they like to keep it the same, whether they, what do they love about the experience? I try to match them with that person. And then if they're not on property, then I take a picture and I tell the service provider, I tell the guest, I'm going to show this to the service provider. Everything's documented. All the notes are taken care of. So it just makes them a little more not so nervous when they re-arrive and they may have not met this person before.
Right.
It's just customer care.
Oh yeah. I mean, yes, it's all of that. But it's the founder of the establishment is now that is your number one thing. So you make an attempt to personally reach out to each guest that was served. Now, the other thing I want to ask is, do you know yet, because this is a new thing that you're doing, but it's also unprecedented. Again, after 300 interviews, I don't recall having a conversation with a Summit Salon owner that has this kind of specificity in it, where the owner was as involved as you are. Do you have any metrics yet as to what you think you're retaining or recovering on this process, compared to, it could be a percentage or a ratio, compared to whatever you were recovering before in what I'll call the traditional MO?
Yeah, I don't have that yet because we're just about 4 weeks into it. So for this last round of the 2 weeks before Christmas, but I definitely will keep you posted on that. But I do want to point out the other reason that I took the time to come in and call is because it's emotional for my team. Now, I'm not emotional about it, but my team is still emotional about it. It's still, it's still a breakup, whether it was good or bad or ugly or happy, it's still a breakup. So the last thing I want to do is give a list of 35 days in the future to the girls in my office and say, call these people. They already have their people to be calling. So, it's also not healthy for them to have the same conversation over and over. And then me turn around and say, oh, by the way, I want our RTS to maintain a good RTS and I want our pre-books to stay high. But in between all of that happy, fun guest stuff, call these people and tell them they have to reschedule,
Yes,
so
yeah. Well,
roller coaster.
Well, and again, because we're in waters, certainly I haven't charted before. I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, but over the last 4 weeks, people have were a beneficiary where they were handed new guests. How'd they receive that? Curious to know. What was their experience?
Yeah, the guests are happy and the service providers are happy. I just had a conversation with a lovely woman yesterday. I knew that she was in. I kept kind of a schedule. So I made it a point to go up and ask her, this is her second visit. I said, was everything okay last time? And she's like, oh my gosh, I love my hair. It's so soft. She did a treatment on me. So she was having experiences and services that she hadn't been having. And she was extremely happy. I put her with an associate that just came out of the program 8 weeks ago, and she was seeing a level 3 service provider. So she's
Wow.
happy with someone who just has been on the floor or out of our program for 8 weeks. She's just as happy as she was with someone who's been in our program for 2 years. So
Right.
out of our program.
So, a lot of people are kind of weighing in on this, and they're really getting a lot of perspective. So I want to say a couple things. One, just as a sidebar, if people want to DM me, I'd be more than happy to give them. I think last time you were on, your interview is around 274. We're just this side of 3 now, so that they could really kind of listen and watch the story. So I wanted to say that. The other is you now have we were chatting 7 or 8 out of your team of, what is it, 30 or give or take, that are in 6-figure W2 territory.
Yeah, they're heading for it. Yep.
Wow. I mean, so I'm doing the math. That's about almost a third of your people.
Yeah, because we're so top heavy. Like we're what transitioned in this last 6 months knocked out 5 of our stylists and 2 of our service providers in the spa. So that was 7. Now we've rehired, and we have, I mean, I love our team now. We are going to be a force to be reckoned with. We are like, this is going to be an amazing year for us. But now we have all level 1s. So now all 7 of those rehires are level 1, but we haven't had 7 level 1s in a very long time, because we live in the world of 4, 5, 6s. So we're very top heavy. Now we're working on
Right.
Starting back over.
And you and I were chatting a little bit before we went live. We're, what is it? Not even 3 weeks, coming up to 3 weeks in. So it's a little bit too soon to get a bead on what it's feeling like. But you said, well, yeah, 19 days in, we're beyond where we were 19 days in 2021. So it comes back down to the brand can be strong enough to transcend people that were in the brand that are no longer in the brand, where there's a stability and a resiliency where you couldn't tell by looking at the numbers that there are people that no longer are with the brand. I mean, I get that there's still the emotional part, but we're to a place now where recovery is a Mach 5 recovery.
Yeah, I mean, but I've worked 14 of the last 15 days, and 7 of those days I worked a double. So, if you could see my fingers right now, my nails are black. So, so part of that is, I jumped back. I mean, I'm behind the chair 3 days a week regularly. I love doing hair. So I'm behind the chair servicing guests. But as a reality of what we were faced with, I jumped back behind the chair full time. I mean, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I didn't really tell the guests they had to come on a different day. I just said, I'm going to meet you where you are. You have an appointment on Thursday night. I'm going to be here Thursday night.
So, yeah. So what you're saying is you leaned into the adversity and leveled up your commitment, and, it takes what it takes, and you did what it takes. And as a result of that, you're running at a much higher level. I call it stability and resiliency. Your bounce back is quicker. So I love it. Now we're coming to the back end of our time together. What do you know now that you didn't, let's say, before before this happened, where the last time you lost people, that you might share with an owner to go, look, nothing changes if nothing changes. What do you know now? What's your wisdom base? How is your wisdom base different?
Well, that's a good question, Michael, because I just had this conversation on a coaching call on Sunday morning where another salon owner had said, I had a couple girls leave, and when they left, I I couldn't believe how unhappy everyone was because they were there for as long as they were. And then that owner said to me, well, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that these two people were making it so difficult for you guys to live. So I think for me, it's about having, there's the truth and the whole truth. It's about having smarter and more heartfelt conversations with your team to really understand how everyone feels. I think the lack of communication that I had in my first 10 years of owning a State of Mind and my communication now in this back half of the second 10 years, I think that's what's changed. I'm not so quick to talk, and I'm way more quick to listen and ask more questions and try to really get to the core of like what will make the team resonate together. I mean, we do team building, we do all of that fun stuff, but if it's not really changing or moving the needle, then we know that our average service ticket has gone from $89 to $130 per guest.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
that took there was a lot of hard conversations in that. And I mean, I had an almost shareholder 2 lives ago that she ended up going to a suite. And when that happened, the team that I had said, I don't know if I can work alongside her if she's an owner. Well, now that team doesn't work for me anymore either. So again, it's about not being emotional and having my core values set, and then not letting other humans derail us, like staying true to what it is that I want to leave as a legacy in this business, and not letting other things get me off the track. That's what I wish I knew in 1999.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, and that was like you said a few days ago. But what you just dropped is you said you went from an $89 average service ticket. Did I hear it right? Did you say 30?
Yes. And that's how these girls are getting to the W-2 that they're getting to. And that's how they're level jumping, because I'm behind the chair, but I'm constantly innovating ways to create new things that the consumer can be excited about, that my team loves doing. I mean, you can't just keep doing the same thing and create new energy. You have to create new energy and have new energy. So we're constantly creating new programs and new services and elevating the experience, because we only have so much room and we're waitlisted for weeks. So the guests that come regularly. I mean, so we're just elevating their experience, and that is elevating our average service ticket.
I love it. Well, listen, I could talk to you forever, and I know you got a lot of stuff cooking today, so I want to really be mindful and respectful of your time. Thanks very much for coming on, and as I always end my conversation with you, promise me that in a few you'll come back and we can have another catch up. Yeah, I consider you, I've told you this many, many times, that I think Summit now is in or around 4,000 plus salons inside of their active community. And I would put you well inside of that 1%. So, we're when I say well inside the 40, you're probably well inside the 20. So kudos to you, and have a great year. And I'll look forward to having you back soon.
Yeah, appreciate it. Have a great day.
All right, we're going to give it up for you one more time. It's Pattie Kobe. Take care, Pattie. That's a big wowzer. You guys, a big wowzer. I don't know about you, but she's, again, is the brand being reinvented by Pattie? Yes. And evolved by Pattie? Yes. But I think there's something going on in the marketplace now since COVID. I mean, where people, there's, when people come in, when I say people, the consumer, the guest, there's a much larger commitment to the brand that's showing itself up in an average ticket. I mean, think about it. She was just this side of $90 pre-COVID, what I would call a BC before COVID, AC after COVID, or towards the at 130. That's a $40 difference. I'm doing the math in my head as I'm chatting with you, and 40 is what percent of 90. It's just this side of 50%. It's 40, 45 plus percent. So that's a big, 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 whatever you want to call it, rebranding, reinventing, reimagining. She now has, 30 plus people on her team, and just this side of 10 of them are earning or trending to do six-figure W-2s. So there's evolution there. The brand now transcends individuals inside of it, so that if and when people leave, there are more guests that either are staying because of the experience of the brand, the total brand, rather than an individual or two, as well as those that do leave come back because they see or sense there's something that isn't in my experience now that was in my experience at State of Mind. I'm going to go back because I miss that part. So there's a whole lot of shaking going on here. And I think if you're a Summit Salon owner, you're going to want to really, listen to this and take a lot of this to heart. Now, is it for the faint of heart? Absolutely not. I mean, when you really think about tabling the emotions, you're not doing it out of vengeance. You're not doing it because you're angry. You're not doing I loved what she said. When people leave now, it's not bad. It's not good. It is what it is. It's part of the natural ecosystem. But we want to have something in place so that more of the clients, it's not my clients, their clients, it's not our clients, that just leads to argument. It really is their clients, and we want to extend invitations that we would love them to stay part of the brand. So just an extraordinary conversation. I hope that you got as much out of it as I did, and we will be back tomorrow night for my guest tomorrow evening, which is going to be, I think it's 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern, Ellie Craig. Actually, she I think you're going to enjoy what she brings to the table as well. So I'm going to let you get back to your day. Good to see you all. You're watching Michael Cole, Millionaire Stylist, on Facebook. And then we will do an edited version of this and put this on my Michael Cole, Millionaire Stylist Instagram page as well. So have a great day. See you tomorrow.